Our star had to use the powder room one more time, unsuccessfully, but we'll see. He's doing a lot of sniffing. I'm a little nervous, but we'll see how it goes. So hello and welcome to everybody joining us today for our very first Puppy Lunch and Learn. Woohoo! Is your puppy treating you like a chew toy? Well, stay tuned because we are going to give you some tips that you can use today. But before we get started, I am Tracy Bisson. I'm the owner of It Takes a Village Pet Care here in Barrington. And I'm here today with Carly Vokey of Carly Vokey Positive Dog Training, also located in Barrington. And then the star of our show, who you will meet in just a moment, is Lanny. He is an almost 13-week-old puppy, beagle puppy from Barrington. Should we bring him out?
Yeah, I'm going to bring him out.
Come on out,
Are
Lanny.
you ready?
There he is.
Hi.
Hi, sweetheart. Are you ready for the big show? You're all rested up and ready to go? Yeah. So, is your puppy treating you like a chew toy? And again, if you are joining us live, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. And if you are joining us on the replay, please say hello. So today, Carly will share with us 3 reasons why puppies bite, as well as how to understand and correct the behavior. So we will be taking your questions today as well. I'll be going on and off screen to monitor them on our live broadcast. Go ahead and ask your questions. We will answer, and whatever we can't get to today, we will, at the end of the 30-minute broadcast, we will definitely get your questions answered on the replay. So again, Carly and Manny, take it away.
Hi. So this is Lanny. He's what, 13
Almost
weeks?
13, yeah.
Almost 13 weeks, so he's the perfect candidate for this. Let me start with talking about young puppy biting. That's biting that you see in brand new puppies up to about 5.5 to 6 months. And this is when they are biting you and everything else. Your clothing, objects, everything's a toy. Often it's very gentle biting, kind of just mouthing at everything. This is actually something that's very important for their development. It's important for their environmental understanding as well as their social development. So a bit of this is actually okay. Dogs have what's called acquired bite inhibition, and they learn it through their litter mates and their mother for other dogs, and that's kind of when they figure out what's okay for dog-on-dog play and interaction. It's not until they come home to you that they learn bite inhibition with people. So a little bit of mouthing, some kind of gentle nibbling and stuff, that's okay, and it's actually important to let them do. If it starts getting too hard, then that's like, he's actually gone kind of easy right now. But if you were to go too hard, then that's when you would exclaim, say like, ah, or ah, or, you know, you've heard yip like a dog, you can do that too. I say it's not important to sound like a dog. Your puppy knows you're not a dog. You're obviously the funniest looking dog that they have ever seen. So just exclaim in a way that lets them know, like, I didn't like that. And then redirection is huge, allowing them to do something different. For that kind of biting, it's social, it's interaction. I like to redirect them to kisses. I like to teach puppies to kiss on demand. So when they do something that hurts, they say like, ah, and then ask for kisses. The way that you do that is you capture kissing when it happens, when they're licking you. Good kisses. Oh, what a good boy. What are you doing, you goofball?
Come on, Nanny.
That's one kind of biting. The mouthing, the social, the exploration biting.
No, bite on her. She's the one talking about you.
I'm the one you're supposed to be biting. So in that situation, you can kind of see on screen, he's nipping at Tracy in a way that kind of hurts. He's getting really playful now, so he's kind of turning into play biting. Play biting, again, they kind of overlap. There's that bite inhibition. You really want to make sure all play you do with puppies, you're using toys. Get all kinds of different toys for play. All kinds of different things to explore. And the reason is if you have toys, it's going to be incredibly easy to redirect them to the toys versus your... What are you doing?
He is so full of life right now.
Versus your flesh or your clothing or other things that he shouldn't be eating. Do not wrestle your puppies. I'm sure you've heard it a million times, but it is 100% said for a reason. If you wrestle your dogs, you're playing like a dog. Your dog will play with you like a dog, and you don't want that. I don't know if you ever watch dogs play, but they are biting and pulling and ripping at each other, and there's times that even I watch dogs play, and it's like, oh, that's gotta hurt. So, yeah, you don't want that. You don't want that to happen to you. So make sure you always have at least one toy available when it's playtime. Are you going to dig something up?
Let's come over this way, cutie. Let's come over this way. I know, what is he? He's trying to get to China, I think.
I want to see if anyone has any questions so far on...
If I can get him to stop biting me, Carly.
Say, there's
there
a
we
good
go.
boy.
Okay.
What about something new? Let's take out a new thing.
This here too, in case you need it.
If no one has any questions yet, I can start talking about toys and different toys to have. Oh, you like this toy?
So if you're just joining us, we are here talking about why your puppy treats you like a chew toy and what to do about it. So again, if you are just joining us live,
Good boy.
give us a thumbs up, and if you're joining us on the replay, please say hello. And let us know your questions. Carly will answer them for you.
Alright, so if nobody has any questions.
Not yet, but we're a
Not
little
yet?
bit behind the broadcast, so.
Okay. Well, I'll get started talking about toys. You can interrupt me at any point. And, alright, so one of the important things to consider when you have toys for puppies is that you have all different styles of toys, specifically textures. Puppies are huge about exploration with textures. So here, we already have a bunch of different stuff out for them. This one has kind of a soft canvasy with a rope. This one has different textures of hard plastic with canvas interlaced. This one has kind of a nice, like soft but scratchy side, but the rest is canvas. We got all kinds of other fun stuff to show too. This one has kind of a... So, one thing that I want to point out, and I specifically left it on this toy, little tags. Toys all have little tags on them. You want to rip them off. So let me do that, and then you can have this. Here you go. Go to town. There's also Puppy Kong toys. He's got a little one in here too. I'm gonna grab it real quick. This is a teeny tiny one. The puppy toys, they come in blue and pink. They're extra soft. You want to make sure when getting chew toys for puppies that they are okay for dogs under 6 months, because some are really, really hard and they could actually damage their little puppy teeth.
So Carly, we actually do have a question.
Beautiful.
Pertaining to something that you mentioned before. So thanks, Ray, for your question. He says, at what age can you wrestle with your dog? Is there any age that it's appropriate?
Maybe once they're adults, it's okay. Once up to 6 months, I'd say absolutely not. Make sure they know it is not okay to mouth and bite at you. Once they figure out the bite inhibition for people, then I suppose it's probably okay so long as you can calm them down when it gets too intense. That actually makes me think of what I call the fun switch game, and that's a good game to play with puppies and older dogs. When dogs get riled up, and I'd say I would especially do this for older puppies, because little puppies, they have some trouble controlling their energy. Sometimes they really just kind of need a timeout and they need to be put somewhere calm. Everything needs to get calm. But back to the game. You get them really, really riled up and you're playing with them, going crazy, waving toys in their face. And then if they do anything undesirable, nipping, biting, jumping, grabbing, anything that is just too much, all of a sudden that fun switch, you turn it right off. And you go, hands up, energy up. You just become as boring as you possibly can. Wait a couple minutes, wait for your dog to calm down and realize like, oh crap, my human's really boring now, I must have done something they didn't really like, then you can turn that fun switch back on and go crazy and have fun. And if your dog gets really good at playing really crazy like that and not biting really hard, jumping, doing all those undesirable things, then I'd say at that point it's probably okay to wrestle. In general, I say it's always better to start out strict with your puppy and your expectations and what you allow, and then become more lenient as they get older, rather than kind of doing the backwards thing, trying to allow certain things and then realize it's not really working out and have to make something that was okay before all of a sudden not okay anymore. Oh, this is so fun. Did you say there was other questions, or was that it?
Nope, that's all the questions at the moment. So if anybody has any questions, again, we are talking about why your puppy is treating you like a chew toy and what to do about it. We have 10 people watching us right now. Just want to give a shout out to Kelly and Laura and Ray. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Give us a thumbs up below if you are watching us live, and please say hello if you're watching us on the replay. All right, so what else should we know about puppy biting, Carly?
Well, I was kind of in the middle of toys, different textures. This is one that I actually opened up and let him play with. It's crinkly. It's got ribbed soft stuff. When you think of chew toys, a lot of times, you think Nylabones and Kongs, and those are all great, but with puppies, they want more than that, and they actually really like having some soft alternatives. So allowing them that, stuff like this, the ones with no stuffing are my favorite because I'm not a big fan of cleaning up stuffing. And then there's rope toys. Rope toys, there's a lot of controversy about. A lot of people are very anti-rope toys because they can ingest the rope and it can be an issue. A big rule of thumb with toys in general, I'd say the only toy that I'd really recommend having totally unsupervised is a Kong toy that is appropriately sized and the right age group for the puppy/dog. All other toys, you want to see how they do with them over a very, very long period of time. With a puppy, even longer, because as they get their adult teeth, they're going to become more and more aggressive with their toys. They're going to be able to be more destructive towards them. Some dogs will try to consume toys, other dogs won't try to consume toys, but you don't want to find out what kind of dog your dog is by what you come home to when they've been alone with a toy. So
Carly, we have 2 other great questions if we have them.
Beautiful,
over here. Let's interrupt here. Thanks to Anthony for this question. So he asked, if my puppy is biting my shoes, should I give him a spare shoe as a toy to get him to stop biting my good shoes? That's a great question.
That is a really good question. I would say no, because your shoes have a certain scent. Here, let's get you something that doesn't have a tag on it.
Yeah, he really likes this one too.
Yes. Yeah. All right, so shoes. Your shoes have a scent to them. And if it's a shoe that has been used, I'd say a no-go. It's something that should be off limits altogether. If your dog likes shoes, I would say totally out of the picture entirely. Keep them in a closet or up high. Make sure that your puppy cannot get to your shoes. If it's when they are on your feet, the best thing that you can do, does that kind of sound like what it's talking about? Like kind of biting at them as you're wearing them?
No, it's probably shoes that are sitting out.
Okay,
just
so
in puppy's reach.
All right, I'll touch on it a little bit. It's technically more inappropriate chewing, which I think would be a great topic for another time. But anything that is inappropriate should remain inappropriate always. Having exceptions here and there can make it really confusing for a puppy. That's actually, with our very first puppy before I was a dog trainer, was a big mistake that we made, is there would be an item that we're like, oh, we don't want you to have it, but then we'd go away, and we'd come back, and it was destroyed, and we'd be like, okay, well, you can have that one. But this one, that's the exact same thing, but different, you can't have. And that didn't work out so good. So, from experience as a non-experienced puppy owner, don't do that.
So Ray has another great question for us
Yeah.
as well. He's wondering, are sticks bad for dogs to chew on, both puppies and older dogs?
Again, very much depends on the dog and what they do with them. Consuming sticks is really not a good thing. My older dog is obsessed with wood. We have a wood stove, unfortunately, so he loves trying really hard to get at the wood, at the bark, and there's been a couple times he's succeeded, and there's wood vomit all over the place, and it's really gross. But if the dog is just kind of chewing on them, not ingesting, then I don't really see too much of an issue. Just, I'd get familiar with what kind of wood it is they're chewing, because some wood isn't really good for dogs. But again, I think that'd be a great topic for another time, maybe, like what is and isn't hazardous to dogs.
Absolutely. Well, and I just heard back from Anthony as well, and he says both, when they're on his feet and when they are not on his feet.
Okay, when they're on his feet is actually related, because that is puppy biting if they're on you. Be as boring as you possibly can. When your dog is mouthing at your feet, doing don't move your feet, don't run away, your dog wants to chase your shoes. If you can get out something that he can have, a toy, you can even kind of just sort of try to redirect him to something else for a second that allows you to go get a toy, then that's the best thing to do. Try to get him doing something he should do. In general, I like the idea of every time you tell your dog don't do something, show them what they should be doing. Because a dog can get immune to no's. If you just, no, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that, your dog will be like, well, what can I do? I'm just going to do what I want to do. Because I can't do anything right. And you don't want that. You want a dog that is learning as much what should be done as they are what shouldn't.
All right, so that's it for questions at the moment.
Okay, well that actually reminded me of a big issue that a lot of my clients have run into, which is foot biting when you're in socks or bare feet, but mostly when you're in socks. It's really, really rough to ignore because especially with those puppy teeth, it hurts. For that, I recommend getting yourself some good slippers. Make it so when your puppy is mouthing at your feet, you can still be as boring as possible, redirect them to more fun play.
And I actually had a question for you too, Carly, because one of the things that we tell customers when we do our pet care services is we instruct them on what is safe in the crate when puppy is crate trained and what is not. Mm-hmm. So for instance, we always say that a classic Kong is a good choice.
Yes.
But soft toys, toys with tags, things that they could rip stuffing out of. Can you talk a little bit about what might be appropriate to leave with them for the biting behavior that they have?
Yep. Again, it's very much dog to dog. Kongs, I also agree, is the only thing that I would 100% recommend be the safe thing that you leave them with. A lot of people say like, oh, my dog doesn't like Kongs. It's probably because you've never stuffed it with food and yummy things. You can make puppy piñatas out of Kongs by hanging a rope through the smaller end. See how this end is smaller than this end? Tie a knot, stick it through, bunch of kibble and fun stuff in there, put peanut butter, freeze it, hang it. Super fun. There's all kinds of fun stuff like that you can do. Just look it up online if you look up like fun activities with Kongs.
Oh, and there's a ton of Kong recipes too at the Kong website.
Oh, yeah. It's really good. So that's the only thing I would recommend for a puppy that you don't know what they're capable of, and a puppy that is still getting their adult teeth.
Oh, he's biting on the rug.
Here,
come over here, you silly.
One. Let's do this one.
All these great toys.
Everything's a toy, though. Look at all these. Look at, and you got this one. It's all good.
He's doing really well. He's a good boy.
Here, you really liked this one earlier.
So
for my dogs, neither of my dogs consume toys. They're both very, very good about not destroying heavy chew toys, and if they can shred something. Okay. Oh, look at, we got snacks.
Come here, sweet pie.
Hey,
come here. Oh, there we go.
Let's play find all the snacks. They're going to be everywhere. You got to find them.
Well, and Carly, I've got a great question for you too, because I know you and I were talking about before this. I have a customer who has a puppy as well, a little bit older than Lanny, but has a younger child, and the child was playing with the dog, and the dog accidentally ripped her dress, and she was really upset. Is there any advice you might give in regards to children interacting with puppies when they're nipping for pet owners?
Yep. There's two things that I tell kids they can try when a puppy is getting too crazy. The first thing above everything is when a puppy's getting too crazy, a kid should know to flag down an adult. An adult should be able to be there fairly quickly to mediate the situation. In the meantime, getting to higher ground, standing up on a chair or a couch or something, and either become tall like a tree or small like a rock. Tall like a tree is great for smaller puppies. That means you're standing up really, really tall, really still, hands up in the air, and just pretend you're a tree. And no matter how much the puppy is jumping and being crazy, just be as boring as possible. It's more likely that the puppy will just get bored and move on to something else. Small like a rock, same concept, but instead you're getting down like this. Make sure your hands are inside. I have my hair down, so that might be really fun. But then the dog's going to sniff around, be like, oh, what are you doing? And then as soon as he realizes that you're being super boring, they'll go away, try to do something else. But the best thing you can do is flag down a parent. There's something that happens with puppies. Sometimes they get over the top, kind of similar to kids. They reach a level of energy that they cannot come down from on their own. Kids and puppies together, they tend to reach that. And sometimes they reach it together, and that's when, it all falls apart. Timeouts are okay. I don't like to think of timeouts as a punishment. I still treat puppies to go into the crate when they're having a timeout, but their crate is their safe space, their calm space. That's where they go to take naps, to chill out. And it's really important for them to have a space like that that just means this is relaxed time. Think of it, you have a young kid and they are just bouncing off the walls and just totally losing it. That's when you would sit them down to do something calm. Maybe watch TV together or set them up with a coloring book, an activity that is really, really chill. Same thing for puppies. Sometimes they just go over the top and you need to intervene in order to calm them down.
Great. Excellent. Thank you, Carly. These are great questions, everybody. Let's take a couple more, Carly.
Yeah.
We have about 5 more minutes for the broadcast. So Anthony has another great question, and I'm referring to Anthony a lot because this is his dog, so we're happy to answer your questions. And thank you so much for us allowing us to use him as our celebrity.
Yes, thank you.
But he asks, what do you think of... Don't get poop in the corner, my little friend. Come on over here. He asks, what do you think of chew deterrent sprays? Are they bad for dogs? Do they even work?
Dog by dog. Neither of my dogs care whatsoever about chew deterrents, but I've also had clients that say they work great. One of the things you need to do to make them work is apply them constantly. Every time your dog goes for the thing, you need to reapply it. Every couple hours, you need to reapply it. So obviously, that kind of turns it into more work than you may want to do. If you are talking furniture and stuff like that can't really be moved or altered, then using, give it a shot. See if it'll work. If it doesn't work, then trying to only supervise around the furniture. Something that is super great to do with the dog, but I understand it's really unrealistic, is as they're puppies and they're still learning what's acceptable in their environment, 100% supervision at all times while out of their crate or out of a totally 100% puppy safe pen. Some, even go as far as tethering their puppy to themselves while they go about their day around the house. Great idea. Again, I understand that it's not necessarily realistic, but hey, if you want a perfect puppy really quick, that's a good way to do it. Because then every single thing they do, they get to learn that that's not okay, and you get to give them an alternative. Stashing toys everywhere, too. I always say stash treats, stash toys, so you can get to all of it
Speaking
as
of
quickly as
treats,
possible.
where are the treats?
Oh, that's a good question. Where did they get stashed? Right here.
Where are your treats, you little sweet thing? Huh? All right, so we'll take one more question. This one comes from Ryan. He says, how long can it take to correct puppy biting? Should I get discouraged if my puppy isn't receptive after a particular amount of time? Another great question.
Well, it depends on the kind of biting again. Mouthing exploration, that's going to subside on its own around 6 months. The play biting and stuff, if you are very, very adamant about always turning off the fun switch when the puppy starts getting too crazy and too bitey and redirecting to toys, then it depends on the puppy, but it might take a couple months. It might take the full 6 months, but you should see progress as long as you're super, super consistent. You stick to the same thing. A big mistake a lot of people make is that they will try something for a couple weeks and say, oh, that's not working. So then they try a different technique for a couple weeks and say, oh, that's not working. You have to stick to one and keep up with it. Be consistent, because that's the only way they're going to learn. So, yeah, if you're talking demand, we didn't really get to touch on that too much, but demand biting to try to get you to do something, you really want to ignore it as best you can, but that'll depend entirely on how long that kind of biting has been working for them and it's been getting them what they want.
Excellent. Well, again, everybody, this has been our first Puppy Lunch and Learn live broadcast. We welcome your feedback and questions for future live broadcasts with other guests. Before we go, I want to give Carly the opportunity to let you know about her business, Carly Vokey Positive Dog Training. And also, Carly, can you tell us how people can reach you?
Yes. So my website should be linked as a URL. It is currently under construction, but there's links to my Facebook page and my Instagram there. You can contact me both places. Facebook Messenger, I'm really good at getting in contact with. You can email me too at carly.vokey@gmail.com, and my number is 603-702-5058. That you can either call or text. It's my cell phone. And yeah, I'm a dog trainer. I do private lessons in your home, and I've been training for about 3 years. I've been studying for about 5, and I am continuing to study because there's never too much to learn. And yeah, I really hope to always meet new doggies.
And Carly, can you just mention the offer that you give for It Takes a Village customers?
Yes, Tracy and I have had quite a few mutual clients, and it's an awesome connection. It's an awesome partnership. And because of that, I offer $10 off the first service for anyone who is part of the It Takes a Village family. That way, her and her team can be consistent with the training you do with me, and I'm able to recommend to you services that I know that she offers. That'd be great to keep up their training. It's really helpful for us and for you.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much to Carly and to Leanne, our little beagle. And again, if you guys have any questions that we didn't get to, please leave them. And on the replay, we will go back and review, and Carly will answer all your questions. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on our first live broadcast. We appreciate your support. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.
Lanny, you want to say goodbye?
Say bye-bye.
Woof, woof.